G'day everyone, T-Nick back here in Transport Tycoon Deluxe, or Open TTD as it prefers to be called. You join us right back where we left off on a horrifying cliffhanger. I am recording these back to back, so it's been like 30 seconds, so I'm still seething with rage that Luna Steel Mill has, of course, decided to dick us around, despite the fact that we're delivering coal and we're about to deliver a train of iron ore. Okay, well, it's still loading. It's still a little way away. So we now need to, well, demolish all the infrastructure we just built and adapt Penhall Steel Mill as our new steel mill bitch. Because, yeah, you know. So I've got the game on pause at the moment because I wanted to make sure that that steel mill didn't disappear before we, finished. But basically, I'm going to have to send our trains back to the depot for scrapping or for storage. We'll probably be able to reuse them, transporting stuff down to this new steel mill down here. But yeah, this game in industry just no. We're just no. All that building, all that cool infrastructure we just built, all for nothing. But that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this railway line here, and we'll put a series of trucks in to bring iron ore down to that steel mill instead, because there's no point having a massive train. Or actually, no, we can just redirect this coal train down here and build a bit more new infrastructure. Yeah, and that'll save us building 1,000 trucks. Now, if I build that in a straight line, there's a bloody brickworks in the way. Of course there is. So what we will do instead is we will build a bridge sort of across here. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, we'll go tight arch because it looks cool and I love it, and I'm still, it's like when you comfort eat a whole packet of Tim Tams because you got the shits. We're comfort building a nice expensive bridge we don't need because we've got the shits. So talk to me about raw materials. No, talk to me about stations because we want to unload raw materials here. 1 by 3. Penhall Local Authority can shove it up their place where they shove things. So obviously they haven't gotten over the fact that we've destroyed a lot of trees recently. So what do you think about me now? Very poor. Well, that didn't really help much. What do you think about me now? Poor. That didn't help much. What do you think about me now? Mediocre. Okay, well let's just keep on building them trees. Good. Yeah, they think we're good now. We just have to be very careful about how many trees we demolish building stations. We're back to mediocre already. Okay, so we're going to have to get this right when we build the steel mill station. So 3 by 7, make the trees invisible. And let's sort of just plop it there. I want to leave enough room for a junction down here. No, maybe if we just put it here and build it as a row, that might be easier. Yeah, back to appalling. There's no coming back now. We're just going to have to make it work in the fashion that we are accustomed to, which is to make it work. So are we going to build a balloon loop down here? I kind of want to say yes, but also kind of don't think we can fit one in. Yeah, I don't actually think we can. So no, we'll just, I guess, put a little depot in at the end of the track there just to make it look cool. And we'll just leave that giant station there because I'm not game to try and shrink it in case this place gets shitty with us. So now we sent a coal train back to the depot. That should be coming to the depot now. So we are now going to redirect you. You are going to full load here and bring that down to Penhall Woods. And we will just attach you to this depot here. And we'll need to refit you to carry iron ore. And we'll send you on your way immediately. Now what I'm thinking we do is we adapt this coal mine up here to supply coal down to the steel mill down here. And we'll just send it into the main steel mill station, seeing as Penhall are determined to be jerks and not let us do anything cool. So we'll need to have a track coming off here. Put a little bit of a curve in there, and then we'll just have a bit of a junction in here. And we'll just redress this junction. And, hope that this steel mill doesn't decide to, I'm going to say it again, pull the rug out from under us like certain other steel mills who will remain nameless have done. Jerks. So that's good. That junction is now functional. It's a functional junction, a junctional function, and we will just sort of demolish this station here. We can't really demolish this depot yet because we've got a train trying to get to it, but we will just rebuild this track down and connect it up to the existing freight line that we built that now serves little to no purpose because, certain steel mills decided they were too good for us and had to just shut down because I hate them. So we'll rebuild this this station here to be 7 tiles long, just in case we end up with more coal than we can handle, and we end up with one monster train, and all will be well. We can save this. I have belief that we can fix this. Are we going to hate Lunas forever? Yes, we are. But you know, we won't hold it against Penhall Steel Mill, because that is going to be our salvation. And our train should be back at the depot now, so we would like to refit you to carry coal, please. We would like to delete your current orders, and we'll have you load coal there. And, I mean, I know it's a bit of a convoluted route. We'll fix that. I just want to get this steel mill supplied with stuff so that it doesn't, you know, screw us over, basically. I was trying to think of a more colourful way to put it, and I thought, no, screwing us over, that's pretty accurate. We're just going to run with it. So you are now going to, I'm clicking on things that I don't want to click on, you are now going to get on this new line, and we can get about demolishing all this track that we've just built. Because, you know, it looked cool, it was fun, I think we made a really attractive looking steel mill station, I thought it was going to be cool, I thought we're all going to be happy. I don't want to build another depot, I don't want to get rid of the depot we've got, because, well, you know, with no function. Get rid of all this track here. Screw Lunas. I'm now got a vendetta against that town, because I reckon they whispered in the ear of the steel mill owner and said, "Hey man, don't you want to close down and move your operation elsewhere?" Yeah, I bet you do. Bet that stupid transport company that we hate's not doing anything for you. No, they're not. They're jerks. No, it's fine. I'm over it. I'm just seething. I will seethe for the end of the game about that, because that's what screwed our last company over, was jerk steel mills being jerks. So we'll run this track down here, put a new junction in like that. We'll obviously need to fix it up if we want to run more trains up there, but for now it should be okay with just the little junction there with the one track. Train 108 is losing money apparently. I don't even care. We've connected that up, so we can now disconnect this track here. Good thing we spent all that money on that tunnel for that one delivery that the coal train made. You know what? I'm going to leave this this track here just as a potential in case someone else decides to open some sort of industry here that we can use. Train 105 is losing money. Yeah, these guys are on that third rail system we set up last time, so I'm not sure if anyone actually wants to. 65 passengers via Stanbridge City, so they should be using these trains. Oh no, because this is the slow train. It goes via Broley City Woods. So possibly we put too many trains on. Possibly we definitely put too many trains on. Oh well, it'll come into its own, and if it doesn't, I don't even care, because I'm still mad about the steel mill. Not really. Yes, I am. Now, we left off last time trying to set up a steel train from, well, that steel mill, but now it's going to be from Penhall down to our new siding we were building over here at Trundon Freight Complex. So we should probably get on that before Trundon goes ahead and expands too much and actually blockades our planned extension here. So we'll run track down like that. We'll run track, actually we'll put a diamond in there. We'll put a nice modern depot in there, making Trundon hate us, because we're sort of smashing aside some trees. We'll make the trees invisible so we can actually build this track that we want to build. We'll need to skirt around this bit of a hill here, won't we? And then we need to somehow get it up to this main line up here. Where are we going to join it up? We could join it up all the way down at the interchange here, which is probably going to be the smart play, because then we've got a dedicated freight line, and as we put more passenger trains on here, we're not going to get in the way there. So I'm going to take this opportunity to get rid of all this infrastructure that we've not bothered to get rid of until now, because it's sort of going to get in the way of what we're doing. And I kind of really want to build a freight line, and I'm going to wait till that train goes through before I get rid of this diamond crossing, because otherwise he's going to get all confused, and I don't want to do that, because that train has not done anything to me. Not today, anyway. We need to get rid of these controlled signals there and there, please, and we'll put in nice fancy electric signals instead. So we'll chuck some of them in like that, chuck some of them in there, and we'll get rid of these semaphores here because they are doubling up. Whoop, got rid of an electric signal by mistake. That's my bad. Good. Okay, cool. So what we want to do is we want to somehow squidge in another track over here. Squidge in, is that a word? It's a word now. So what I want to do is I want to bring a track out like this. That made sense. Because I want to drop it down here. Yeah, see, it looks like the reverse of what we've already built, because symmetry is beauty. And now I'm just hoping none of the contractors decide to knock down this. Actually, you know what? We're gonna head off the contractors and their incompetence by inviting the sea in, and then very quickly building. Oh shit, we've gone too slow. We've buggered it. No, we're gonna have to do this in a very expensive fashion. Quick, go! No, go! No, damn it! Oh fudge! Demolish that. Build that. No, quick! It's getting away. Quick, demolish that and build that. That's not where I wanted to build that. Okay, demolish that again, and quickly build it there. So that was a very expensive way to go about what I wanted to do, but basically because it's at sea level and it is prone to flooding if we accidentally lower the land, I thought by putting a a canal in, you actually end up with this nice little at sea level seawall. So you can build at sea level without any risk of it flooding unless you accidentally happen to bulldoze these tiles here. And then we can use our eye candy to make sure we don't do that by putting in. Oh, we need the basic key, don't we? By then putting in a bit of a key. Okay, that's actually not going to work as well as I thought it would. I thought that'd be more attractive. Okay, we'll get rid of the key and just leave it the way it is left, because I'm sure that looks fine like that. Yeah, just sort of leave it. Yeah, that's fine. It looks okay. I mean, you got this sort of a gap here where you think the water's going to sneak through, but I guess it's not. Up here, the gap is closed. Down here, maybe not. What if we raise the land up like that? Will that help? Or will it go back to putting a wall in there? It's going to go ahead and put a wall in there. You know what? It's fine. It's keeping the sea out of here. It's fulfilling its basic function. So, you know, whatevs. Just going with the flow. Flowing. Now, how do we get a track from here over to here? That's going to be the tricky one. This bit was the semi-easy bit. Semi-easy bit? Somewhat easy bit. It was easy. What if we branch it off? No, because we need to come from these center tracks here. So the center tracks come down here, so we can just, yeah, that was easy. We can just bring it off this track here, off the third rail. Why would I overcomplicate things? Because I'm T-Nick, and that's what I do. So we'll bring this around like this, and then we'll have it come down alongside the existing track here, just to keep it nice and neat and organized. In fact, we'll actually single track it for a section up here, just to cheap out and save on money. And yeah, we can come up here. We can sort of follow the. Actually, do we want to go uphill if we don't have to? Well, we have to get past this river thing anyway, so we're going to have to go uphill anyway. So yeah, it's kind of moot. We'll just have to make sure we put a powerful enough engine on our train, and we'll bring it down here, I'm going to say, and yeah, I guess we'll have to double track it in at some point. So we'll start the double track off again, just to make sure we don't get too much queuing, sort of traffic jam-esque. Is that a railway term? Traffic jam-esque. We don't want to have disruption around the terminal itself. Now, did I build those tracks to line up? Yes, I did. That's pure planning. They're not luck or anything like that. It's just legit, pure. I'm gonna go with skill. I'm gonna toot my own horn here, beep beep, and say that was all planning skill there, not a fluke or a freak accident or a freak fluke or a fluke freak or fluking freak or whatever. Now we need a one-way signal in over here, please, and one over here to help divide the trains up. And we're getting a bit of argument at this station here. I guess we put too many trains on, and now they're all sort of jamming up. Didn't think that through very well. How are we going to get around that? Are we going to put more platforms in? Yes, we are. I heard yes, we are. What does Plesbrook think of that now that we've done all our landscaping? They still think we're excellent. So, yeah, because it'll be easy to plonk another couple of platforms over here, but then we'll have to divert all the tracks. So I'm thinking we need to get rid of all this roadway here. What do they think of that? They were completely fine with that. I'm astonished, but impressed. I'm impressed-onished. I'm astonished-pressed. I don't know, I can't really merge those two words together, so I shouldn't try. But I did, and now here we are. So now we're going to have to wait for the trains to clear out. So I'm going to hopefully get you to block that junction there. We'll just stop you in place there to block that junction. And while the trains are all out of the station, we can build a footbridge. We want 6 tracks, not 5. Boom. We can start you on your way and start you guys on your way again. And we'll just build the new station around them, provided we have access to the things we want to build. We're going to have to build more pot plants. We haven't unlocked any fancy modern roofs yet, so I guess we'll just put a normal shelter in there. Yeah, that looks kind of nice. And we'll have to put a normal shelter in here. And then we're going to have to do the same thing we just did to put the stupid pot plants in. So, didn't think that through very well. Oh, there we go. We can build that one there. And this one we need to wait for the trains to get out of the way to build. But then we should be right. So we just got to wait for Tommy third rail to get out of the way. And boom, station. Smashed it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to join these platforms up so they can only be used by the outside tracks, just to try and encourage the trains to use. Okay, well, this one here we can have the outside tracks like this. We will third rail it just to make sure it's future-proofed. In fact, actually, that's not going to work because the trains coming this way need to cross over. So, yeah, that idea is actually not really going to work, because I was going to send the outside track through these 2 platforms only, but then, of course, they need to get across to the center tracks anyway, unless we rejig the junction at this end, which we might have to do, which will be hard because we've got quite a... we put too many goods trains on and we've run out of goods. We'll deal with that shortly, because I need to fix Plesbrook interchange up so that it is all happiness and sunshine and rainbows. To do that, would we consider putting these inside tracks out to the outside? Yes, we would. This is not going to be a cheap undertaking, unlike me. Cheap undertaking. So we're going to have to divert the third rail around the outside of it during construction. So that itself is easy enough. We'll just put the track in there, and then we'll get rid of this. It's always difficult building around operational trains without upsetting them. In fact, we're gonna have to upset them anyway, because we can't. Yeah, quick, put it back. There we go. Please don't crash into another train. There is a signal there, and all is well. Otherwise, we just rebuild it. Human life is not sacred to our company. We're just in it for the money. So we will swap those tracks around. And I just realized I haven't connected them up at the other end yet. So silly me. I should probably do that before I go disconnecting things. So connect that up like that. Now we can demolish this tunnel here and get rid of this track here, because this track is now going to go up to that station up there. So we'll get rid of that just to make it a more gentle slope down. There we go. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Train 13 is getting very old and urgently needs shutting the hell up, is what I saw there. So we need to connect this outside track to make sure it can get down here. And now the outside track is going to be the one coming out of the tunnel. So we're going to disconnect this line here. We're going to disconnect all down here. We're going to disconnect this bit. Because basically I'm going to deal with one direction at a time. One direction. Yep, that's a boy band. Basically, any trains coming out of this tunnel, I want to only use these 2 tracks here. So we're going to build the line in such a way that it encourages them to use the outermost platform and then the inner platform only if they need to. But just in case trains happen to come through this tunnel, if we set up another route, they're going to have to be able to get over here anyway. So that's why they're going to have access to the middle track. Because as we've seen in the last episode, the trains are smart enough to pathfind past the station they're going to. It used to be they'd pathfind the first station, whatever platform was convenient, and then they'd figure it out from there. But they're actually smarter than I give them credit for. So we're going to have to make sure we encourage them to use the outside platform, but give them access to all platforms just in case, and then give them access from this middle platform back over to the outside track again, just in case they should so desire to. I probably put in too much track there, but I just want to make sure we figure it out and get it right first go. So we'll get rid of that track there because we don't actually need it. So now that should be fit for purpose there. So yeah, we can get rid of these points here. So now trains coming out of the tunnel can get into all 3 platforms, but they should default to this one because it's the first one in line. I am a bit concerned that nothing's actually come out of the tunnel. I'm hoping I haven't broken something else somewhere. No, those tracks are all still connected. It's all good. It's all good. It's fine. It's fine. Don't have to worry. It's all fine. It's all fine. It's all good. I will actually reconnect this up again. I know. I just got rid of it. Now, I don't want to allow trains coming from this line to use the outside platform because they won't be able to get back to the tunnel. So that's why I'll set the points up like the way they are set up so that you can't get across here. And I will have it so that they can come up here, and we've got two sort of queuing spots to wait for platforms. See, here we go. He's working as planned. He's going to come into the platform. This chappie here is waiting for a path straight through because stupid me didn't build a signal at the other end. Now that should have fixed up this this sort of eastbound track here. So trains coming out of the tunnel on the main line will default to these two platforms, but can use the third one just to keep them moving because they are the important express trains. But the third rail suburban trains will only use these two middle platforms here, which is good because they're the only two that can get into the tunnel. The only risk is the steel train, but he will know he has to cross over here because he won't actually be stopping at the station. So he'll know to come through these two platforms here. Now all we got to do is reverse that concept for the other side. I know I make it sound so easy. And meanwhile, we've got trains running everywhere, every which way. So it's not as easy as it sounds, but you know, we'll find a way. We'll find a way. We'll just have to bodgy that for a sec, so we can lower the land there. And basically repeat the process we had on the other side. So we'll just run this track straight down here to make sure we don't confuse any of the third rail trains, and we'll get rid of that track like that. Now we should be able to put a tunnel in there. We can. That will replace the existing tunnel. So once we get that connected up, we can remove this tunnel here. Would it help if we actually connected this tunnel up to things? You know, just saying. So that trains don't get too lost. Now I put a bit of track in I didn't want to put in. So drop that in there. This junction is just getting uglier and uglier by the minute, isn't it? I weep at the ugliness of it, but you know, we'll pick up the pieces for that another day. So having connected that up, this bloke now wants to use the center track, which is good. So we'll now get rid of that. You are going to use the tunnel, which is excellent. Now, because the trains we want to encourage to use the outside track, let's see, that's the steel train. Yes, that's the outside track there. So what we'll do is we'll leave them coming in like that, and we'll leave the signal set up like that. That's good. And then we want them to keep using the outside track here. So we'll get rid of this bit of track here. That's good. So the way the trains will look at it is coming from here or coming from the freight line. They'll come through and they'll see this signal here. Now, trains always want to avoid going through these signals if they can find a better way. So they will divert around this way. We'll just get rid of this signal here because it's not serving much of a purpose. So if they can't, or if they can get into this platform, they will, because these are also path signals. So they'll reserve a path in here. If they can't get into this platform because it's occupied, they will then path their way up here and wait for the two middle platforms to be vacant. As you can see, they can get from either of the middle platforms to either outgoing track there. So that itself is not a problem. So I think we've set it up in such a way that our trains on the outside tracks will prefer the outside platforms, unless they can't use them, in which case they will use the middle platforms and then just find their way back to the correct track. We'll put down a few more signals on these middle tracks to help keep the trains moving. But yeah, aside from a completely ugly junction over here, I think we've done all right for ourselves. It's sort of gone against what we were going to do at the start, which was to have this track on the outside. So really, we should rebuild the junction, have them come down the middle and have the outside tracks go around. But I don't have the energy to rebuild that junction. I just wanted to build a steel train. Why? Why do I have to go through all this effort? Have I put signals on this line? I have. Good. It's harder to see the electric signals. And then obviously we've got the big single track section here. But let's get a steel train going, and then we should sort out our old trains that we've got going on. But I just don't want this steel mill to, you know, collapse on us like the old one. We haven't built a junction here yet, have we? No, of course not. That'd be too easy. That'd be too sensible. Now, we were going to build a row junction, weren't we? So we can build a set. Oh, we're building third rail track. We don't want that. We want normal rail, please. Just fix that up. So we want to go transparent station so we can see through the station. We want to connect you up like that, and you up like that. And we want to change. Yes, how are we going to do this? In fact, let's actually just back this bridge off a bit. Let's move it over to here. I would love to rebuild that unloading station, but it's not going to happen at the moment. This is going to look slightly dodgy just because I don't want to upset the town by removing stations and stuff, but for now we're just going to have to deal with it. So I'll actually get rid of the junction there, and no, we don't need to get rid of any signals, we need to put signals in. So we'll put a signal in there, put a signal in there, and look, it's not pretty, but I think it's going to work for now. But the trick is, now we need to get the trains from here over to this track here. I think we can just sort of hijack this bridge abutment and copy the bridge going the other way. And we can make that work. And again, it's not the most elegant or attractive of stations, but if it's functional at this point, I don't even care. I'm just gonna allow it. I'm gonna be like, you know what? No, that's fine. That is completely fine. So we're going to allow the iron ore unloading, the coal unloading platform to be used by steel trains as well, or will we? No, we probably shouldn't actually, because we might end up with a steel train loading here and blocking the iron ore train, unless we actually give him a choice of platforms to come into as well. Ha ha ha. That is ugly as sin, and I'm going to pretend we never built it. Just expunge that from all records. It was never there. Now, we won't have more than 2 steel trains, so actually we can have 3, because we can have 2 loading on the platforms and 1 queued up waiting for a platform, so that's okay. All right, we will keep that connection there. I really should fix all these old trains. So we want to make one-way signals there, there, and there. No, not there. Why would we put it there? No, we will leave it there because it's not going to affect anything. Thinking out loud. Because eventually I want to divert the coal train into its own unloading platform, but, well, Penhall think we're appalling and that's not going to change anytime soon, so we're just going to run with it. Now, we've hijacked this bridge abutment. Hijack is such a strong word. We've borrowed this bridge abutment. And what we'll do is we'll run the train line down and just sort of skirt around the outside of this brickworks, and then junction up with the main line down here. And again, that gives us room for steel trains to queue without getting in the way of the passenger trains and without getting in the way of each other, hopefully. You know, they're not actually going to block trains trying to get into the platform to load because they're making their way to the main line. Now, hopefully we can get a steel train going before this steel mill decides to yank the rug out from under us. I've got to stop using that metaphor. I've got to come up with a new metaphor before that steel mill decides to screw us to the wall like the other one did. It's probably a bit more of a violent metaphor that we didn't need to use. Now, we've still got no goods going, so the steel train can't come fast enough. Now, the reason I decided to give it its own track is because I was planning on using the 080 mineral, but it appears as if the 2808F has been invented at some point, which is 80 Ks, and it is designed for heavy freight. So, you know, let's just go with that and hope for the best. 150 grand, sure, why not? I don't know how much you can haul, so we're just going to go with a 7-tile steel train and hope for the best. If it can't haul that much steel, we may have to investigate double heading, because I'd rather this be an efficient few train organisation as opposed to a many small train sort of organisation. Operation. Train 103 can't, we should address that, because, oh no, you're waiting for a goods platform. No, you're okay. So are you going to be able to pathfind your way to and from on your own? I hope so, because I'm going to go ahead and build 2 of you. Good. So, turn the trees back on. So now this is our steel train here. Oh, we've got some movement at the station. Has a goods ship come in? Or is it, oh no, this thing's actually producing some goods, which is nice of it. And if we can deliver it some steel, hopefully it can deliver some more goods. We've gone from having a vast oversupply of goods our trains can't keep up to a vast undersupply of goods. I'm attributing that to the increased distance between the sawmill. You know, before we were just ferrying across here, but now we're going all the way up here to unload goods. So now you've got your own freight track, so you're fine, and this is why, because as you can see, the passenger trains easily outpace him. However, he is going to have to mix it up with the big boys to get through this section here. So we probably should start addressing some of these old, that's aircraft, some of these old vehicles we got going on. So ship, sort by age, please. Sort the other way. Oh, it's only ship 10 that's getting old. I had it in my head we had 5 million ferries that needed replacing. So that should be pretty easy. I guess we'll just build a new... Yeah, I mean, we've still got the Castle Point steamer, but I still think that's a freight ship. I will just stick with the Sunk Rock Ferry, I guess. So we will just clone you, send you off, you stop sharing, and you go to a depot, and that's the end of you. Good. Get rid of all those windows. Now, I want to get more iron ore and coal coming in here. I want this to be our focal steel mill, at least for the time being, until we find another convenient steel mill that's arguably more accessible for either shipping or rail or both. Now we did have an iron ore mine up here that seems to have disappeared. We've got this one here. We could always send the iron ore down by boat down here and then have a sort of a shunting train to bring it in. That sounds really cool. Actually, I want to do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's set up an elaborate system that will immediately fall out from under it. Train 57 can't find a path to continue. Oh dear. Does that mean our goods trains are that backed up? No, he should be fine. He should be able to make his way down here. Yeah, we do have to get more goods producing though, because if we have too many goods trains queuing up, they will queue up onto the main line. We might end up having to put a separate goods track in altogether over here as well. Let's delete the trees. Well, not delete trees. Let's hide the trees and see what other iron ore mines we have available to us. I'm seeing somewhere between none and 1. Wow. So we've gone from having a glut of iron ore mines to bugger all. We do have an option. I'm pretty sure I've got it turned on. Where's industries? Industries. We can fund new industry. Now, one of the options in the advanced settings is, because normally you can only fund sort of production industry. So you can say, I'll pay for a factory because I want a factory and I want it here. And, you can pay however much it is, 2.4 million. So, it's fairly well balanced. We can't actually afford to build a factory. But what you can do, you have an option you can turn on for raw materials. So if you find you're running out of iron ore mines, you can decide you want an iron ore mine. Now, there's no point building an iron ore mine if there's no iron ore in the ground. So instead of being able to put it where you choose, so oil refinery, I can just put wherever I want, you can tell the game to prospect. So what that'll do is if I hold shift to get a price check, 2.5 million, but it will attempt to build an iron ore mine somewhere in the map, and there is a chance it can fail. So we pay 2.5 million quid, send someone out looking around for iron ore. If they don't find a viable deposit, they keep our 2.5 million. So that's not something I'm going to go for at the moment, because we've got all these trains and buses and things hemorrhaging money that we'll either have to fix later or get rid of. But it does mean for now we're going to have to make do with the iron ore mines we have on the map. And I think it is just literally the 2 that we've found. One on this island up here that we can ship from, and one up here that is arguably a little less accessible. Wow, I swear we had heaps of iron ore mines before. They must have all closed down while we weren't looking. Yet we have forests everywhere. I'm thinking we should set up a trucking route from this forest down to this dock down here. To make use of our ships and therefore make more lumber and therefore make more goods that way. That might be a better option than going for the steel at this stage. Do we have any more forests over here we're not using? We've got those 2, we've got that one, we're using all of them. We've got this one up here which is not really accessible. This one here we can set trucks up for. This one here we can instantly get a ship going from. We've got none on this island. And we've got a couple up here. Do we have a sawmill up here we can make use of? Because it's going to be a long way to ship the wood all the way around to this sawmill. But I'm kind of keen to try it, actually. I mean, most years the ships will make a loss, but when they make a payoff, they will make one heck of a payoff. Alternatively, we should just find a more local sawmill to use and ship the lumber down to our factory, possibly by rail, which probably would be more efficient. Yes. Let's leave that on the back burner for now. I will connect this forest up first. We'll connect it up by truck because the land is not really conducive to the building of trains, unfortunately. You all know how much I love trains. But if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. So we will build a road. I didn't want to close that. We'll build a road across the top of our... Actually, no, we won't. We'll put it across the top here. Southern EMU Electric. Now, I've already got a third rail train running and it's losing money. So I don't particularly want to invest in new third rail technology to lose more money. I'll put a tunnel in there. Oh, that's a nice looking tunnel. Oh, I like that. Actually, we should probably build our truck stop first before the town gets all prissy about, you know, forest removal and whatever. So we'll put a row truck stop in there so our trucks can turn around, and we'll just need to connect up our road down in such a way that it connects up to the road we've already built, because I'm not rebuilding it. Connect. Good, that's happy. Now we're going to have to sort of get over the top here, I guess. Or if we lower a bit more land and destroy a few more trees and piss off a few more towns, we can build in sort of... That's kind of zigzaggy. I don't like zigzag roads, but you know, we play the cards we've been dealt, and we make do where we can. So don't forget to connect that bit up. It's been a while since we've built any road vehicles, so it'd be nice to see what's available. We should probably also build a truck stop down here before we get too ahead of ourselves. And now, how are we going to row that? We'll have to take a chunk out of this hill. That's fine. We'll have to... No, that's not going to work. What if we build it down this way? Maybe that'll work better. Yeah, that's better. That works. That works a lot better. Connect that up like that, please. Connect that up there, and then we'll have to connect this up. No, that's one tile too... Or one tile not far enough, rather. Not one tile too far. And we'll set that up there. That is a complete road network. Now it's a complete road network. We have a depot here we can use, so it's just a matter of picking trucks, and that wasn't as hilly a route as I thought. We probably could have gotten away with trains, but we built the road now. What have we got in the way of log trucks? We have the fitter generic flatbed truck, which can carry wood, 40k an hour, 15 tons of wood. It's not great, but it'll have to do. So we'll refit you to carry wood, just to be sure. If you could full load there, then come down here, and if you could transfer and leave empty, that's fantastic. And we'll get 10 of those going. Is that 10? That's 10. No, I don't even know what that does. Auto replace. Oh, okay, well, we just renewed them all, even though they're all new anyway. So that was money well spent. Did we assign you guys a depot for when we want to upgrade you? We didn't. Silly. There we go, that's better. So we're getting quite a lot of wood out of here. Snigger. Which is good, because the ship is not running at capacity. So any extra wood means quicker trips, which means, wow, 50 grand last year. He's doing well for himself. And how's our little Chew going? He's just hemorrhaging money. So is that because this forest is rubbish? 39% transported. Maybe we need to just get a better train on this route. He's getting the job done. Transfer 883 pounds. Yeah, so he's not making his running costs back. That's his problem. Wow, you're losing a lot of money. What are you doing? You're one of the island trains. Yeah, we never expected you to make money. That's fine. You do what you got to do, buddy. How are we going at the steel mill? We've got our 2 steel trains patiently waiting to load steel. You are loading iron ore very, very slowly. How's the coal train doing? You're loading coal very, very slowly. That's not going as well as I expected either. We should probably address some of these very old trains that we've got stacking up. What line are you on? Are you on the line that I put third rail on and then didn't bother to get rid of the old trains? Yes. Oh, no, you're not actually, because... No? Okay. What line are you on? You are on the Sunningdon line. Did I not send you guys to the depot? I know I was going to keep you guys, but wow, we've got a lot of trains stopping here. That's the thing that happens. So what is your deal? Train third. No, don't go to a depot yet. You're going to get lost. Oh, you're on a completely different line. Oh, you stop at Sunningdon anyway. Oh. No wonder I missed you guys. I thought we were, by third railing this track down here, all would be well. But, yeah, you guys are still on this line. So that's my bad. I should work on upgrading these trains. So is it just the 4 of you that are getting old? Yeah, we should look at replacing them. So they are the all stops between Feeningham City and Broley City. And until... Well, train 48 is apparently getting very old. We have a coal train? Oh, yeah, you go there from... Where was the coal mine? Up here. Oh, should probably address you as well. Add it to the to-do list. It's fine. We'll get around to it. Turn the trees back on. So, first of all, we need to look at new all stations trains, because until we get better planes... Do we have better planes? We have the Lockheed Electra. It might be actually worth looking at getting planes going, because then we'll make the express trains all stops and the planes will... No, we'll upgrade them. We'll upgrade the all stops. Those planes are not going to hack it. So let's look. What are we going to go for an all stations train? Boy, we've got some options. We can build the Jubilee, 144 k's an hour, 160 k's an hour for the Pacific. Now the Pacific's overkill. Let's go the Jubilee, or do we want to go the Shire? Same speed, cheaper to run, and it's got less power, but we're hauling passenger trains, so it doesn't really matter. Now give me an express mail carriage, please, because the normal mail carriage has not been invented yet. And give me some standard carriages. 3.1, I think that's going to be too long for our stations. What are you? You're 3 tiles long. Yeah, okay. We need to upgrade the stations, don't we? Yeah, we do. Okay. Let's just go up to 4.1. That's too long. Okay, we'll go to 3.6. We will bookmark train 13, and we'll bookmark the coal train. We'll close all the other windows so that we know what we're doing. We'll drag them to the side, and we need to upgrade Trundon rather. Trundon station needs to be upgraded. Treeside Slopes needs to be upgraded. And Sunningdon needs to be upgraded. Now this one will be interesting. Yeah, they think we're appalling. They are not going to let us upgrade jack squat. So let's talk tree placement. Please? Please let me put trees down? Well, I know you'll let me put trees down. Whether you let me... Mediocre, I'll take it. Mediocre's fine. I'm good with mediocre. I don't need you to like me, just need you to tolerate me. Put a potted plant in. We'll need to make a third rail though, because otherwise we'll break the existing trains. Good. Upgraded 1 station. Treeside Slopes, what do you think after we built that freight line? Mediocre. I'll take it. It doesn't have to be third rail. Let's put a... We'll have to get rid of some signals to put another tree down. We'll put another tree down there. Good. Happy. Everyone's happy. All the towns are fine. Oh, Trundon, we pissed you off, didn't we? Yeah, stupid trees. And of course, the problem is by putting more trees down to make the town like us, we just put more trees down to knock down later and make them hate us again. So it's a self-perpetuating cycle, really. You think we're good. That's very nice of you. We are going to have to actually knock a tree down already to extend the station, though. So please don't let that sour your view of us. We will have to move a couple of signals. Eventually, we're going to have to extend these to 5 tiles long for the express trains to stop there, unless we... Here comes one now. Unless we actually shrink the all stations trains once we replace the express trains with planes. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, because right now that's a bit beyond the scope of what we're trying to do. We're just trying to upgrade some old trains and put some pot planes down, because who doesn't like pot planes? If you don't like pot planes, you're a Nazi or something. That's a thing people call people on the internet if they don't agree with them. I don't like you, you're a Nazi. That's just the go-to insult. So if you don't like me putting trees down, I'm pointing at the screen very violently, then you're a Nazi or something. I don't know. You do you. Bring the trees back. Yeah, see, you fit in the station because I didn't try and shoehorn too many carriages onto you. And of course, Great Lesningham is also... Wow, that's a lot of passengers. Most of them want to go via Plesbrook Interchange. We need more express trains. We just need more trains in general, I think. Although we've got no one waiting at Feeningham City. Well, 175 people, but that's really bugger all. So I guess the trains are leaving here with enough capacity to pick up at Great Lesningham. Ship 10 is getting very old and is now scrapped. Now, where was that train we were building? That was the Shire, I think. So you're going to be copying but not sharing Train 13's orders. And we're going to go with 6 trains. 6, there we go. Good, we still have 2 million in the bank. Send those trains out, and it means these trains can now go to the depot. Great Lesningham train depot, and stop. AEC rail car, no thank you. Why are you in a depot? Why did you go into a depot? You were supposed to go from... Oh, you've somehow gotten lost. Oh, bless. Okay, let's just make sure your orders are good before we... Well, we've already sent the other trains out on your orders. So you go Fenian Grand City Central. Yes. Great Lesningham Station. Yes. Then you go to Trundon Station. Yes. Treeside Slopes. Yes. Plesbrook Interchange. Yes. Sunningdon. Yes. Broley City. Yes. And then we go back the way we came. Yeah, so I don't know why you're out of sequence, but you are. You'll figure it out. Might have had something to do with all the construction we did down here at Placebrook Interchange. I really want to rebuild that station to make it look prettier now. I want to put like a big station hall in, and yeah, let's do that. What does Placebrook think of us? Mediocre. That's good enough for me. I just like making fancy looking stations. So we need to make sure this is third rail capable, because otherwise we'll get in trouble. 6 platforms there. Now let's put in a really impressive looking station hall here. So let's go with 1x3 here and 1x3 here. And then there's a train in the way here, so you need to naff off. There you go. He's naffed off. And then we'll just put in normal roofs on either side here, just to complete the image. And now I realize we don't have a station building anymore, but who cares? Yeah, that's a small price to pay for a very impressive looking interchange that is unfortunately not wheelchair accessible because we put a footbridge in instead of an underpass with lifts. But I guess it is 1935, so that's not a big thing at the present day. Now, train 13, we've fixed you. You're going to get to a train depot eventually. So it is the coal train we need to turn our attention to. Are you actually making money? You should be. You are making good money. I will replace you with pleasure and honour and happiness. You could stand to increase capacity slightly, but I don't think we can really make you any longer. We'll go the 8F again. That seems to be a good choice. Not that we've actually seen it do anything with the... Let's have a look at remaining lifetime and sort the other way to see if we can find the steel trains. You're still loading. Okay, well, I don't think you've actually made a trip yet to see if you're any good, but I'm sure the 8F is a fine engine. So let's go steel open wagons. How long are these stations? How long do we build them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stations. 5 platforms long. I lost count halfway, so my bad. 4.7, I'd say we can fit another wagon in. We can. And put it on the correct side of the goods van, please. So where are you at? You are up here. Copy but don't share. Off you go. And you will now go to a depot when convenient, which should be just after unloading. And yeah, we'll see the back of you. But yeah, 50 grand last year, so that's an investment I'm willing to make. I should probably have checked how much coal is actually left in this coal mine before I went and did that. No, 28%. We still got heaps to go. Now we should address our loss-making trains, because we do get a few of them complaining down here that they are making a loss. So profit last year. Let's see if we can't address that. Wow, that's our number 1 profit-making train. You should be one of the express trains from Feeningham to Broley City, I reckon. Feeningham, Broley, yes you are. That's why you're making so much money, so good for you, fella. Now we want to look at the worst of the bunch, and brace yourselves, this is not going to be pretty. Oh, that's actually not too bad. So one of our culprits was actually one of the express trains. I'm assuming he got caught up in some sort of traffic jam. Now our EMUs are losing money on this suburban line that we built, and I'm assuming it's because we've doubled up on them, because they are running at capacity. I'm assuming, yeah, it's just because their running costs are so high, 33 grand as opposed to your running cost, which is 50 grand. Okay, so that's not a fair judgment. Why are you losing money? Oh, because you're 1,000 years old, so your running costs are astronomical and you're not carrying anyone. Okay, so the loss-making trains aren't as bad as I thought. It's mostly the suburban ones. The freight ones need to bed in. Yeah, some of the express trains are losing money. That's disappointing. You are a new train. Oh, you're a mogul. Yeah, I thought you were a Shire. Yeah, you're the stupid island train. Well, you're never going to make money. No, okay. So I think that's actually not doing as bad as I thought. So we just need to look at making more money then. And who doesn't like making more money? So we've got the steel train set up now. 99%. That's close enough. Off you go on your bike. I want to see how this steel train does, and we can produce more goods then. How are the goods trains doing down here, by the way? Yes, there we go. We've gotten through the lack of a backlog. We've now gotten rid of some of the trains, so we don't have unnecessary traffic jams forming, and they should all still be turning a decent profit. 60 grand last year. That's not bad at all. 78 grand. Yeah, there is money to be made from goods. In fact, what we could do is we could run a goods train from here up to this steel mill here, and then truck the goods into Penhall. Probably doesn't accept goods. It's too piddly a town. No, it doesn't. Okay, well, scrap that idea. We could always have it stop in the passenger station here, but I don't think heavy machinery wants to be unloaded at a passenger station, and I don't really have the motivation or the space to build a goods terminal in here. So we might stick with just sending goods into Feeningham City for now, and we'll deal with it further down. We could always send more goods over to Rongrove Rivers because we've got that ship running across from here to here, don't we? Or is that the lumber ship? I honestly can't remember. Huh. Oh, well, we'll figure it out in good time. We don't have any more forest pop up that we can use, have we? We seem to have a lot of forest on this map. We've got this one up here. It's not terribly appealing. We've got a coal mine here. Do we have a power station anywhere? Not really. We do have these oil wells here that seem to be oddly persistent. I am holding out on doing oil until we get oil platforms. What do you call them? Oil rigs. That's a thing people know about. Yeah, because they seem to be a bit more stable than the old oil wells. Not that we can talk about stable, having been burned by many steel mills before us. What else can we do with freight? We've got a quarry here, but no clay pit. Got some more oil up here. We've got this iron ore up here. We've got a new passenger tram we don't care about. We've got a clay pit here. Do we have a brickworks? We have a brickworks here. So there's potential there. We could, if not for Penhall hating us, we could run clay in here. We've got another brickworks up here and a clay pit here. And we do want to expand up into this part of the world. So yeah, Lunas hates us, so they're not going to let us build any new stations in their area. But this should be the what do you call it? The jurisdiction of Avon Low and Little Ratminster. So there's potential there. Anyway, folks, sorry for the strange cut there. I actually ended up recording way more footage than I expected. Yep, okay, good for you. And so I'm just actually going to cut this video here, and we will pick up again next week, right where we left off, just outside the brickworks there. Yeah, so it was just going to be a monster video otherwise. So yeah, we're just going to watch a couple of trains coming and going from our happy little steel mill here. But yeah, look, I'd like to thank you for your company. I've been T-Nick, this has been Open TTD, and I look forward to seeing you again next week for the exciting conclusion to what the hell do we build next? Or whatever I end up calling this episode. Thanks for your company, later days.